Welcome to the Boston's Big Four podcast. Cast. New news about music and sports every week, sometimes.
All right, we're back. Another episode of Boston's Big Podcast. Episode centered around food. This is something we're getting into now. Since our clip with Pete, if you know Repeat 617, went a little viral recently talking about our favorite restaurants in the North End. So we figured we'll tap into some more food experts around the area. And here we got one of the OG, if not the OG, food Instagram page in Boston. Would you say that?
I would say that for sure.
Brittany DiCapua.
Good.
DiCapua.
Perfectly said.
All right. AKA Boston Food Journal, which most of you probably know her as on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited.
We're excited too. And Jack lied a little bit. So we've done some food stuff. We've reviewed donuts from Honey Pot Hill Orchards.
Okay.
Those
We'll
are
take a
good.
whole episode around food is what I
No, that's correct. But I just want to say, food's been in and around us for a little while, and we're kind of ready to jump into it, aka ride the cloud train, because we realized it works.
Oh yeah.
So it's been a shame.
People love to debate their favorite restaurants. I mean,
Yep.
we'll get to that, the best restaurant in the North End topic, because everybody has an opinion on that, and they're all great in their own right. So,
And I do want to put a caveat on that. I think, and you'll probably, as we get into the conversation, explain the nuance here, but I have a hard time personally picking favorites of anything. So
Same.
I feel like for restaurants in particular, our moods are changing, your cravings, whatever. So I'm probably going to ask you multiple different categories of favorites. So I just want to lay that groundwork. I don't know if you want to start thinking about certain ones, but you probably got them ready to go.
And I love that question because people always ask me, what's your favorite restaurant? And I have so many based on what my mood is. Am I in a hot pot mood? Am I in a get dressed up and go out for martinis with my girls mood? Or am I in a quick Uber Eats mood? So it's I have so many favorites in different categories. So I love that question. I love that you're breaking it out like that.
Yeah. So I guess just let's start from the top. How did you start doing this? Was there a one time you went to a restaurant and decided to post about it, or did you decide to jump right into journaling?
Yeah, so we say OG because I started Boston Food Journal in 2015. So 10 years as of this year. Well, we'll be 10 years in the winter of 2025. Long story is my background's actually in tech and engineering, which shocks a lot of people. I was working in tech. I'm a very creative person. I grew up a dancer, played music, like to draw and, paint. And food was always such a big thing for my family. And I grew up in an Italian household. We ate dinner together every night. Food was our get-togethers were, what are we eating? Our weekends are, where are we going to eat? So when I moved to Boston, I was just so overwhelmed. It was my first time living in a big city. I'm from a small town in Maine. I just was so excited by the fact that I could leave my doorstep and get authentic Italian food, authentic tacos, authentic Japanese food. And I was wow, this is so cool. And I quite literally just started Boston Food Journal on a whim. It was a thought and I just did it. I mean, influencing wasn't a thing then. So it had no meaning to it. It was let me just make something where I can practice photography and creativity, share it with friends and family in this big city around a topic that I really enjoy, which is food.
Do you remember what your first post was? What restaurant was it?
Yeah, I actually do. I was working in Davis Square at the time. No one's ever asked me that. I love that question. I was working in Davis Square at the time, and we would always go to the Painted Burro. I'm pretty sure it's this. We would go to the Painted Burro after work all the time, which is a Mexican restaurant. And it was a picture of the bar because they had these cups of garnishes, like watermelon, pineapple. And I thought it was so cool and aesthetic. And I'm pretty sure it's that, which is a picture of the bar.
Okay. Is that the one that has there's tile all over the walls in the basement area? Or am I thinking of Felipe's? Is that the same?
I think you're thinking of Felipe's.
Okay,
I haven't
I'm
been
confused.
in years, so I couldn't tell you. It's been so long, but I think that's Felipe's because they do have tiling.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like the style of that kind of restaurant, anyways. But okay, first one. So, what was your last one? Forgive me for not looking at your page.
My last one was a new Wagyu Shabu restaurant in Chinatown. So it's all you can eat Wagyu Shabu, which is like hot pot.
Okay.
So good, right from Japan. I think it's like A5 Wagyu, and it's amazing. It was delicious.
What is the price tag per person? Right, that you said it's all you can eat.
Yeah, so it has 4 tiers. It starts out at I think 38, and then the most expensive one is either high 80s, low 90s, but it's like literally the best cut of meat you could ever ask for. And I think they limit it to an hour and a half, but you know, that's enough, right? So I think it's a pretty solid deal based on the quality of the meat. I mean, it like actually melted in my mouth. It was so good.
Oh yeah, I believe you. Anything Wagyu, I mean, if it's that quality, it's got to be. So people always tell me like there's so many good hot pots around. Like I know Cambridge has a bunch. Like there's stuff like right around the Middle East. It's called like lamb something. I want to say, is it Happy Lamb? Yeah, I was gonna say that's
my favorite. Yeah.
It's okay. Somebody told me that was also their favorite. So is that one a good one? I haven't been.
Yeah, super good. That, and I can never say it, but Louis Shuyu, that's in Chinatown. I think they also have them in like Alston. Those are my top 2. Also, the queue in Chinatown's really hot pot's like my second favorite thing to eat. So I'm like a hot pot connoisseur. I think I go once a week, honestly.
Oh, nice. Okay. To be honest, I've only gone once, and I went to the place in it's in Quincy. It's called like Royal something.
I love Royal. I had my birthday party at Royal.
Oh, no way. They got that cotton candy dispenser.
Yes.
I was there for like 30 minutes. I couldn't stop.
Amazing. And I love that it's hot pot and Korean barbecue like at the same table. The owner also is very lovely. So when you're supporting that restaurant, you're like supporting such a good family. And they also have the karaoke bar down underneath.
This guy loves karaoke.
Yeah, you
So
go
excited,
back. It's so fun.
Yeah, we're going. We're gonna do a live podcast karaoke someday.
Yes, you should totally do that.
That is exciting. So, I know we're kind of like a few, like you mentioned the hot pot, and it sounds like we're on the Asian cuisine topic right now. So, like, I'm a huge sushi guy. So, what is like your? I guess I want to know like you mentioned hot pot is your favorite. Is there, of the Asian dishes, like what would be like the top 5? Are they sushi places? Are they all hot pot?
So honestly, they're all places in Chinatown that are very like kind of small, rustic, family owned for sure.
Okay.
Dumpling King, best dumplings ever. Very cheap. I kind of blew up when I started posting about the egg puff lady in Chinatown. It's a small cart in the back of a food court, and she makes egg puffs, which is a Hong Kong style dessert that's somewhat like a sweet waffly pancake. And at the time when I started posting it, they were like $3 cash. She has since, raised her prices, but not that much. So that's definitely one of my all-time favorite places.
Are you responsible for the price hike, by the way?
I was just gonna say,
Probably.
Unbelievable. Hey, I mean, at least you're highlighting the people that need it, so that's good.
that's
what I like to do. Highlight people that
from your page.
probably don't have
I've
press.
seen that before. But it's
You've seen that before?
No, I had never seen it until I saw it on your page one time.
Yeah.
I think that's how I found out about it. So
Yeah, and she does like different flavors now. So she's definitely been like elevating her game a little bit, which is good.
Okay. Nice.
But she's been around for years. People will comment and be like, I've been going to her since I was 2 years old with my mom. Like, so she's,
wow.
like, the only person that works it, I'm pretty sure. She doesn't speak a lick of English, It's an
Those are the
experience.
kind of places you want to support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that. I would say the hot pots are in that list. Royal would be in that list. Happy Lamb, where I went for the Wagyu Shabu. I like Zuma too for more of a high-end experience. Sushi, Havana Sushi is really good, which is in the same food court as the egg puff cart.
Okay.
And where else do I get sushi from? Sometimes it's hard to think.
I'd love to know like I always think of like the big ones, like Basho is a place I frequent. It's right in Fenway.
Yeah.
But I don't know like I don't know if I have the eye for picking them, you know, like that's just a convenient spot for me.
Right,
Shout out
right.
to them. They're amazing, but I just don't know, like compared to other places, like what is the best? So you said Havana.
Havana.
Is that, and you said that's in a food court in Chinatown?
Yes. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. He just
Oh, didn't hear a word.
loves to talk. Yeah, so that's in the small food court in Chinatown. North End Fish is also a favorite. I hear you on the Bash Show. Like, I'm not going to say anything bad about this place, but like, I often get takeout sushi from Fuji.
I love Fuji. Yeah. Is that the Newton one?
Yeah, I get it from the South End one, but they have
Oh,
one.
gotcha.
I think it's like the most authentic. No, but I like it. Like, I think it's good. So I hear you on the more commercialized, like, chains.
Yeah.
Because that's conveniently just where I get my sushi most of the time. But Matsunori is really good for not sushi, but hand rolls. Really authentic and delicious. But I would say like Boston's top would be Havana, North End Fish, and I don't know. Those are the only two that are like coming to mind.
Row 34 in that list at all, or is that like a commercial one?
I love Row 34, but they mostly do like seafood. So like I think Row 34 has the best lobster roll in Boston. I love their lobster
I
roll.
was just about to ask you that. Because you're from Maine, you said, so you must be a lobster connoisseur.
I am. And it's a tough thing when we talk about lobster because I get that question all the time in the summer. I grew up eating lobster off of like my mom's friend's boat.
Oh, man.
We go down to Troy's, shout out Wells Beach Lobster Pound. He follows me.
Shout out.
Right, we love you. But we would just go down to my mom's buddy's pound. My parents, they're very close with this family and just get it fresh. They caught it that morning and eat it at home. So it's like hard for me to eat it here. But I would say I love the Row 34 one. And I also love Eventide, which is a Maine company. But their lobster roll is a little unique. It's served on a bao bun with brown butter, but it's fantastic. And the meat is always like super fresh.
There's an Eventide in Fenway, right? It's I think where like Tiger or something used to be.
It's next to that. So Tiger
Oh, that's still there?
No, Tiger Mama is now Tenderonis. I love
Oh,
Tiger
right.
Mama.
That
Same
keeps
with-
changing.
It does. I know.
The only thing is Sweet Cheeks, right?
Sweet Cheeks, yeah. Eventide is across, like, just one block down from
Okay.
old Tiger Mama.
Nice.
It's crazy how much, like, restaurant knowledge I know. Sometimes I surprise myself. I'm like, wow, how do I know
It's funny.
everything?
I'm in that area. Yeah.
Hey, you have a lot of experience,
Yeah, I guess so. 10 years.
A lot of these food bloggers are just popping up now, and it's like, who do you trust? Who's been here the longest? Like, I want to trust someone who's been doing this for a long time.
Oh yeah. Who are the food blogs that we should not trust and
That's a
we
great
don't want to listen to them at all?
No, I will not.
Someone just popped in and I think I think I can guess actually. I'll post it under the comments later so people can see.
One thing about me is I stay above any.
Okay.
I think on my own lane, I don't compare myself to others. As an influencer, comparison is, hard, but I don't compare myself to others. I would say I never even really compare myself to food bloggers. I mostly, when I do have those like thoughts of how am I doing, against other people, it's with like fashion influencers because it's like also the lane I'm trying to go in.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to food bloggers, I just, I don't compare. I don't consume myself with what they're doing, It's better that way.
It's kind of fun. I love starting the pot, but I just want to see. That wasn't even a pun either, a food pun. So
That was good.
we're kind of on fire right now.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I follow a few different food blogs and I've noticed that there is a very like a striking similarity just in like the influencer tone of speaking and like this is what we did today, this is what it tasted like, and this is how this is what we went after and stuff like that. Is the cadence is sort of like plug and play with food, makeup, clothes, whatever. So to like take that a little more seriously and not like the copy paste is genuine, and being like a pioneer of it, I'm sure you know how to separate yourself from the masses. So
Yeah. And if I could say anything to anyone that's listening, that's, an aspiring creator, it's all about that. It's about that differentiation. Everyone can post the same video of, an espresso martini. How do you make it different, right? How do you make it different than the rest? So that's always the lens that I think in, which is why I include myself, or I put it on a heel with my Meals on Heels series. It's like, you just got to think outside the box and try different ideas but also be authentic in the process.
How'd you come up with the heel idea? Because I love that, the drink on the bottom of the food.
So that was, I used to work for New Balance, and one of my colleagues and I were just in his studio with a bunch of random props. We had no plan. We were like, let's just, be creative and see what happens. And I was inspired by a post that had like a pocketbook draped down someone's leg. So I was like, why don't we just balance these donuts on the heel? We tried it like actually on the heel and then on the bed of the heel. And we were like, we think this is dope. Like, I love this. People might think this is weird as hell. Let's just run it and see what happens. So I remember I posted and I was like, it was like, not that I care, but I don't want to post things that are like so weird that people were like, huh? It was like insane. And I was like, all right, this was so much fun to do. It also highlights my friend, who's an amazing photographer and deserved a platform. And it really combined food and fashion for me. So we just kept doing it. And then, I think it's been like 3 or 4 years now. I have it trademarked and made the coffee table book, the calendar, all sorts of stuff. So it's been a big part of my growth in my career for sure.
Definitely. That's like your signature, I think.
Yeah.
When you see those pictures.
Yep.
So how'd you get into fashion blogging?
Yeah. So that's something I'm working on. I mean, I'm still working on it. I have found, most of my followers actually are women. I think it's like a 70-30 split, which is interesting. Wow. Yeah. And I find
part of that 30.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need more. So if any men are listening, hit the follow button.
What about 75-25 men? So we can help you out a little bit.
Thank you.
Perfect symbiosis.
That's great. I do post great food stuff, so it's not all fashion, everyone who's listening. But yeah, something I slowly was incorporating because I also love fashion, beauty, hair, makeup, all that stuff. And I found that people who like food also enjoy those things, men and women, right? So it's like, why not make my platform more me focused instead of being a journal, be Brittany DiCapua and incorporate all of those facets. And I think I've done a pretty good job over the years, but definitely want to like amp it up this year. And just feel free and just post the things that I like and kind of not worry so much about what people think and just have fun with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I know, like you mentioned your family, you guys ate dinner together every night and food was a big thing within the family and bring you guys together. Are you also a chef? Are you like cooking regularly yourself?
Heck no.
Oh my gosh.
Don't cook. My mother is an amazing chef. So I grew up having delicious meals from her. And my brother-in-law now is an amazing chef. So our family functions, we have really nice gourmet food. They're not actually chefs. My brother-in-law has some chef training, but they're just really good cooks. So we always had really nice meals. Myself, no. First of all, I'm just like so busy. I'm not really ever home. I live alone. It's kind of hard to cook for one. And it's like, I'll buy stuff and then I don't feel like eating it, that kind of. So I do a lot of takeout. I'm not going to lie. Do a lot of takeout.
I respect it. I mean, it's so much easier.
It's part of your
so much easier.
Too, You have to try different places. So.
Exactly. And it's like, I can get whatever I want. It works for me in a way, but I'm trying to cook a little bit more this year, but again, it's just hard.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So are there places that I'm imagining that you probably frequent some places and they probably know you have your order ready, high fives on the way out and stuff like that? And are there other places that already know you and you come in and they're already treating you a certain way?
Yeah, a mix of both, I guess. It's kind of hard to be anywhere and not know the people that work there if it's somewhere that I go in my neighborhood or whatever, just because, again, when you do this for 10 years, part of like why I think I grew is because I cared to build those relationships with people. I wasn't in there for the free meal, boom, bang, done, post, and be done with it. I actually care about the business, care about the story, care about the staff. So yeah, I think now it's like when I do go places, I pretty much do know management or some of the bartenders or whatever. I wouldn't say there's really any place that like sees me and knows my order. I don't think. I did have a coffee shop in the South End. I live in the South End, and I've lived in the South End for a long time, like off and on. When I lived in the South End, closer to like after I graduated college, there was a coffee shop. The guy was amazing. He had a line out the door and he knew everyone's order. So he would see you and just make it. And it went out of business. It was so sad, but it was.
Wait, was that a COVID out of business? Or because I mean, how could a place that knows your order? I would go there every day. Yeah, right.
I think he closed. I don't think he went out of business. I think
okay.
With it. But
that makes me feel better.
Yeah, I know. Because when I found out, I was like devastated, and the coffee was unbelievable. So that would be the only time I think. There's probably a place that like knows what cocktail like the bartenders.
Someone's probably screaming at the screen right now, like, "We know your order."
I can't think right now. It's like the bartenders at Ocean Prime. Shout out to them. I love them. Okay. They do know when my girls and I show up. Like they're like, "Okay, you want a Cosmo?" I'm like, "Yes," So nice. I guess I get some drinks. Yes.
Yeah.
Ocean Prime is Seaport, right? Am I? Okay. I was like, I don't really know. This is gonna. We're 19, by the way, but I know this. No, we're 19. We're 19. I know the.
That's crazy.
So it's in. I remember the Seaport was just parking lots. So I'm like, it's like the place to hang out now, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, it was parking lots, and it changed so much, and it's still changing. They're building so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. I like that Boston's growing. It's even like we're talking about the Fenway area, all the restaurants that have changed there too. I mean, like that has probably grown like height-wise 3 times like in the last 10 years. And just the types of restaurants and the types of places you can live, like everything is just getting nicer and better. I mean, there's other issues that come with that, but the city is growing for the better. And I think for the food parts of it, it's amazing. Like, I mean, I think Basho is relatively new. There's also, I'm just thinking of like on Boylston Street right there, because I work at Fenway, so I'm always like eating in that area.
There's
like Honey Grow, and I mean, these are not like full on restaurants.
I love Honey Grow.
I love how customizable it is. You can have something like super delicious and healthy, or you can have something super delicious and comfort food and it's bad for you. High blood pressure, baby.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, are there like more fast casual places that you are also going to, or is this more like restaurants? And forgive me because I don't know all your content, so I'm asking this stuff not realizing everything.
It's a mix for sure. I mean, I've partnered with McDonald's before. I actually love McDonald's, so that's been great. I partnered with Honey Grow, so I like to do a mix. I personally do eat a lot of fast casual. Not every fast casual is bad for you, right? So I like to promote those as well, especially like the local ones, or the less chainy ones. But I like to just keep things varietal, and I'll post about the fancy restaurant, then I'll post about the fast food, and variety, but also that's me, right? Like I am that girl. I can eat at a fancy restaurant, but then I can also order Chick-fil-A and be fine, So it's like I just show up as myself in that way and cover a wide variety of things.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, balance, important.
And earlier you mentioned like how our food can, like your mood for food can change so many ways. Like I have craved something, and then by the time I get it, I'm like, ooh, I wish I got something else. And I'm wondering now, like you, obviously a lot of planning has to go into this. So a week goes by, like let's say you wanted to have like tacos on Monday, but then like the next night you had planned on going to like a Mexican restaurant or something. Like, you have to change at all, or is it just like however you're feeling that day, you decide like this is what I'm going to get and post about it?
Yeah. I'm pretty intentional with my posting. Nothing I post is live. Like I might post something that I did 2 weeks ago. If I have an arrangement there, it's work, and I will eat it and enjoy it. Even if, I guess I don't think about anything else because I know that's where I'm eating. And I only arrange work visits at places that I know I'll like, and with food I know I'll like. But yeah, I mean, sometimes that does happen. Sometimes I'm overfed, or they'll just send out stuff that I don't really like. I know I don't like, But In that case, I'll try it because I know just because I don't like it doesn't mean someone else won't. So I'll try it to make sure that it's like composed nicely and, I can at least.
That is so nice of you because if someone put food in front of me that I don't want to eat, I'm just like, no, sorry. I just
Yeah,
can't do
it's
it.
hard. There's like a lot of etiquette, I think. A lot of influencers don't follow that etiquette. I do. So, I like to sample it, but I will always, if I have someone there with me or my photographer, we will box stuff up and I'll give it to them to go give to their families. And, I make sure that it's given to somebody. I don't necessarily always take leftovers because I won't eat them, because I'm busy and like I said, never around, but I'll make sure that like the team I'm working with gets it or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. Like a whole criticism of like this industry is probably food waste. I imagine so. That it's good you're at least doing the right thing and getting getting the food eaten. So,
Yep.
So has there? I guess you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but like a time where like you said, you're overfed. Like, do you just wait till next time, or like you wouldn't like pack it up and take it home and do the review there? Because I guess that's not a fair review, right?
Yeah, I would always just, it's also about the content too, right? So like I'm not necessarily eating something that's hot. It's been sitting out for a little bit. You got to consider those things too. That's how it goes. So again, like I said, I'll try a bite of everything. I think the common misconception is that I eat everything that I post. I mean, that's kind of impossible, right?
That's a lot of
Yeah.
Although a lot of times I go on my own dime so that I can enjoy a meal and also post about it. So I do collabs with restaurants, but there's a lot of times I will just go and pay myself so that I can order what I want and then authentically review it. But yeah, if it's not the case, I will definitely try everything just so I can, appropriately talk about it. And if I don't think it's good or a good experience, I have no issue talking to management and letting them know constructive feedback, and I won't post. That's only happened like twice, but
Okay.
How they take the constructive feedback.
I think it's all about the way you frame it. And I was very, authentic about it, and I tried to truly be constructive, and it's always been taken positively. I also think it speaks to my character as an influencer that I'm not going to just post everything and anything.
Absolutely.
I do really care about whether or not it's up to the standards that I promote. And I think for the restaurant, it benefits the restaurant too, in a way of like, I have been to a lot of restaurants. I'm trying to make them better, So if it's done in a way that's appropriate and positive, it's, I think, usually beneficial to both parties.
Definitely. So where's the best pizza in Boston? Everyone's wondering.
Best pizza. So I am obsessed with Pico Pizza in the South End. I probably shouldn't say it because no one knows about it, but to me, it is like the best pizza ever. I crave it. I had it last week. Amazingly good pizza. That's my favorite. And again, no one talks about it. It's really weird, but that would be my favorite.
What style of pizza is it? How would you describe it?
It's like the little, I don't know. It's like little round pizza with very doughy, bubbly,
Okay.
kind of thick and chewy, and it's wood fired.
All right. I haven't heard of that one. We got to try that.
It's so good. So that would be my number one.
Okay. Santarpio's or Regina's?
Santarpio's.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
That
Okay.
is
I
interesting.
used to live in Eastie, so
Yeah.
to be honest, like Regina's I think is good, but I'm not obsessed.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while since I've had Santarpio's because I'm not up there that often. Is a meaty crust. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, it's pretty dense.
Okay, I do like a meaty crust. I
Yeah.
feel like there's something about it, but if it's too bready, that's when you lose me.
I
It has
agree.
to have like a toast to it. I don't know, or like sometimes depends on the place, but I'll take like a nice like garlic brush on the crust.
Love
I
that.
sometimes that's too much, but other times
Yeah.
I feel like the flavor is just right.
I'm with you. What I like about Santarpio's is they put the toppings under the cheese.
That can be nice. Yeah.
Nice, because then it's like tucked in there,
Yeah. I've heard mixed opinions on that. Some people like that. Some people think that's not how pizza should be. So
Yes, I've heard that too. Yeah, that's a hot topic for sure. Those
definitely. That's an ongoing debate that will never
two. Yes, agree.
And I wonder if there's maybe Because I heard a trick to like homemade pizzas, because people, you can't always get like a pizza crispy at home, so like people will put it in with no toppings first. So I'm wondering, and no toppings including the cheese obviously, so I'm wondering if you did it that method with the toppings that you plan on putting under the cheese, get them a little crisp first, because I feel like the cheese is going to coat like a pepperoni from getting a nice cook. So we're getting into the science of food here.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I'm getting all jazzed up about this, but there's got to be some science to the pizza, but they won't tell us.
My parents have a pizza oven, and they have gotten very scientific with it and tried all sorts of things. I think that my dad would say it's all about the thickness, like your crust layer has to be even throughout, or else it cooks weird. And yeah, they've gone through a whole science. They make really good pizza.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to make pizza at home once, and it just became a huge bubble, and everything just like fell off it. And I was like, what is this? I couldn't believe it. So, it's an art. So like, do you focus also on like the dessert aspect, or is it mostly just the food? So where are we getting the best desserts?
Okay.
Where are we getting the best cakes? I'm sorry, I said I'd do this by category. If you want like a cake, chocolate cake, could be flourless, could be regular chocolate cake. Forget the flourless. Where am I getting it?
Good chocolate cake. I mean, there's a lot of places. Dessert, I really like the dessert at Ocean Prime. The butter cake, unbelievable. That's top tier. Carrot cake as well. For a good chocolate cake, I don't know. That's almost too detailed, because I feel like there's a lot of good.
Oh, really?
Cakes, yeah.
Oh, then just cake. Who's got the best cake?
But I do. So I love cake. So I will like, sometimes this is my guilty thing that I'm admitting. I will like Uber Eats a cupcake from Modern or Mike's, and
nice.
Their cake. So I'm a Modern girl, not a Mike's girl, but Mike's is still good. But I love their cake and cupcakes. So, and also Cafe Victoria has amazing desserts. So
these are the places that I think of, but I thought maybe those were like the touristy ones or something. So I'm a Modern guy also. I think they have much better. I'm a Modern guy also. I think they have a better selection than Mike's. Yeah, and someone actually told me that, and I don't know if, to be honest, they weren't from Massachusetts, but they were like, that Mike's and Moderns, everyone thinks it's a contest, but they all come from the same place. Like, it's the same person who makes all this stuff, which I feel like is not true, having had both of them.
I don't know, but it could be. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know, but it wouldn't shock me, to be honest. The North End is all very connected like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how often do you venture outside of Boston to try food, and are you familiar with the North Shore beef scene?
I will go if like duty calls, if there's something out there. Being from Maine, I do cover Maine a lot, New Hampshire, Portland, Maine, amazing food scene there. Portsmouth, North Shore, I've gone to a few places. Some places in Peabody, in Andover, that's north, right? Yeah. But it's not often. I will say I do usually stick to Boston, Cambridge, Somerville. But again, if an opportunity comes my way that sounds interesting, I will definitely travel.
Yeah. So obviously we cover a lot of sports. So I got to ask you, going to the Celtics game or Bruins game, where's the best place to get dinner before a game around the Garden?
Okay, so my favorite in the North End is Brico.
Okay.
I just love it. I think it's got delicious comfort food, very good, quick walk to the Garden. Also, I would like to shout out my friends. Boston Pizza Cupcake just opened up in the Garden, which is huge.
I saw you posted that, yeah.
Yes, so they're so when you hear pizza cupcake, you're like, what? How is that? It's not a cupcake. It's a pizza in the form of a cupcake. So think of like a bite-sized cupcake, but it's, nice dough filled with cheese and sauce. They have one that's like hot honey. So good. Also local. So I think anytime you're in the Garden, definitely go support Boston Pizza Cupcakes. But I would say Brico is my number one. I like to go to Mia Roof Deck, which is on top of Umbria. That's kind of a cool spot for drinks. And Limoncello is very good as well. I mean, North End's just so fun. It's such a good
Can't go wrong
experience.
in the North End.
Yeah, you really can't.
Would you agree with that? That there's not any bad restaurants in the North End?
I would. I would say some are more touristy than others, but
Yeah.
I would say it's like the food mixed with the experience and the ambiance. It's such a magical neighborhood.
Yep.
It's so European. It's different than anything we have in Boston. So I would say like you cannot go wrong being in the North End, whether it's eating, drinking, dessert, walking around, shopping. I mean, it's just such a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, we've hit up Bova's at late night.
Love Bova's.
That's how.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was actually the night we, fun fact. This is a fun fact. This is a deep cut. People don't know this actually. The night we recorded the intro sequence to this podcast, we went to Bova. So,
Okay.
yeah. Small world, huh?
Yeah.
Small
Late
world.
night Bova is such an experience. I would say every Bostonian has to do it at least once.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just- it's great.
Yeah, they're open till 3, I think, right? So you can get, yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, oh my God, you're looking for a quick cupcake, a little rice ball, whatever you need. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
I got an elephant ear. I remember at 1 a.m. it was, I think. And then I ate it on
perfect.
soup. And I was like, you know what?
That's
Right.
Stoop kid.
North End. living right.
Kid with my lobster tail.
Yeah. You know, a fun fact, actually, another fun fact, Bova was recently featured in The Instigators, the movie that just came out.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just like the headquarters of one of the guys. So I don't think there's really organized crime happening in the bottom of Bova. There's no way. But in the movie, there was.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah. Boston in media is so fun. I feel like just
Yeah.
the fact that we're like a sick movie city, but it's also not like LA. It's just like a setting for movies. It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like the same 5 actors that we all love. But still, it's like, yeah.
I know. Move over, guys. Like we want to do our own movies. I want a movie where I'm super smart and good at fighting. I'm a janitor.
Yeah. It's like Boston accents and everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes fake Boston accents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
We had someone who was faking a Boston accent. I actually just he's admitted to it in recent times, but yeah, I was. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say it. He's a comedian. You can find our episodes, but he did say if you watch the episode, fake Boston accent the whole time. In real life, he doesn't talk like that, but he said it on one of his podcasts. He's like, yeah, I like my fake accent. And he's totally exposed himself because I feel like when you're out there all the time, you can't just fake that accent all the time or it has to become real. But
Well, I think creators, we have certain voices. Like if you listen to my voiceovers, you know, all of us tried to like change our voice a little bit into our like narration voice, you know, like I find that my voiceovers are a little more like soft and raspy and I try to do different tones. And I noticed that with a lot of different creators. So I think there are like creator personas and voices versus real life. So I understand it from that point of view.
yeah,
But
no, I
people are
think he was
fascinated
putting on it.
by- Yeah, people are so fascinated by Boston accents. So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. And it's, funny because like we are South Shore guys and most of the parents we know have Boston accents, but everyone growing up, like we don't have them. So it's just, I think that, you know, you can be incognito. I like that, but it's funny how that, you know, accents seem to be getting more universal. And I think that's an internet thing, social media, everyone just kind of becoming the same.
100%. I find like my grandmother had a really thick Maine accent. My mom has a semi-thick Maine accent. When I'm in Maine with my mom, I'll be like, get in the car. And then I'm like, oh God, what did I say? So it's like when I'm with people that are also, it's kind of just like when in Rome, you know, comes out, but not on the daily basis, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Definitely, yeah.
So what about Fenway? Best spot to get food before a Sox game.
Yeah, so I would definitely say Eventide. Love Eventide.
Better than Citizens?
For lobster roll, yeah, Citizens is fun for its own, you know, different vibe, like
Okay.
American food drinks. But for a lobster roll, or if you want like traditional New England fare, definitely Eventide. There's a new bun place kind of behind that main road. I can't remember the name of it. I'll look it up and send it to you. But it's like dumplings. That's pretty
Okay.
much all they serve, and it's fantastic. It's new, so I forget the name. But where else? I mean, Time Out Market is right there. It's a food hall with multiple venues inside. So you can have anything from ramen to pizza. Actually, the pizza place in Time Out is amazing. Lala's Pizza. It's actually some of the best in my top 5, I'd say. And there's Farro ice cream, which is New Zealand style fruit ice cream, which is good if you want like a healthier dessert. There's a Trillium over there. So really a lot. I did live in Fenway for a year or two, and I really liked that neighborhood. It's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
A lot going on.
I think I know the street you're talking about, the one that's like where Thornton's is.
Yes, I can look it up right now because I did a post.
There's like 5 or 6 restaurants right there that are all kind of like fast casual, but very good. There's like, there's an Indian, a Greek, a sushi place, and there's a few. It's probably the one you're talking about. I just don't know the name either.
It definitely is because you're spot on. It is, here it is. Spring Shanghai pan-fried buns.
Okay.
They are delicious.
Check that out.
Yeah, I went like twice after I found out about it. Really good.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I still discover stuff. I mean, like I'm there constantly like trying to eat around there. Tasty Burger I have way too often.
Love Tasty Burger. Staple.
Yeah. One issue I have with them is I don't know if they're advertised. Do they advertise as, are they smash burgers? I didn't think so. But they serve them kind of like they're like always well done, and I'm just like, can you please not? One of the guys that I'll go with orders it well done, which I disrespect, and I want to say this out loud. I want anyone who's listening right now, and I'm sorry if you do this. If you order a burger well done, it's just wrong.
I'm a medium rare girl. Same thing with steak. Come on, you gotta have your steak. I would even do it rare. Anyone that does. So this is funny. Growing up, my family just never liked medium rare steak. They would always have it like well done because that's what my sister and dad liked. And when I was younger, I didn't really know the concept of that. So growing up, I would dip my steak in water. And now I realize it's because it was so dry and I was trying to like get some juice to it. And we laugh about it now because my brother-in-law is like, no more torching your steak. He'll say that to my dad. So like my brother-in-law's taken over the grilling, makes it a little, my dad too, he's changed his grilling style, but I used to dip my steak in water.
That is so interesting. I think I had a very similar experience. I just remember like when I started cooking my own meats and then doing it correctly and like learning it and then just remembering all these days where I'd be like grossed out by the steak or the chicken. I'm like, it's dry. It was dry. I didn't know how to describe that when that's like all you knew. But it's just funny.
Right.
Exactly. Funny how that is. But or like you're always looking for like salad dressing to mix it with or something.
Right.
So steaks though, actually, where can we get a good steak? I know there's like the Capital Grills and stuff, but there's got to be like, I know there's the best ones.
Yeah, my favorite steakhouse is Grill 23. I just really like it. I have like, before I lived in Boston, my dad and I have the same birthday and we had a big family birthday party there. So already I liked it because it just brought up like family memories. But I just love the food. I love the vibe. It's very New York vintage, white tablecloth. Just it's cool. I just like it there. And what they do this really cool thing with their drinks where they take like a martini glass and they dip it in shredded ice so that you have an ice rim, which is really unique. And it makes it really cold and it's just nice. They do it with their espresso martinis too. So I just like the whole experience there. And that's usually where I send people when they ask.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious how the collab with McDonald's came about.
Yeah, I've worked with them a few times actually. So people, brands will just reach out. They find you through whatever. Usually they work with agencies or third parties. And, it depends on what the goal of their campaign is. Sometimes it's localized. So they're looking for Boston food creators. Sometimes it's not. So they just found me that way. And then, I've worked with them a few times. We did a Meals on Heels a couple of years ago. And I really enjoy working with them. They're great. And I love McDonald's. Those fries are...
We're big McDonald's fans too.
Oh, yeah.
Fries and a Diet Coke for me is like...
Yeah.
So is that a snack or like what's your go-to at McDonald's?
So I usually was a nugget girl, but when they rolled out their crispy chicken sandwich, I converted to that.
It's a solid sandwich.
It is a solid sandwich. I don't think it's Chick-fil-A, but I think it's a close second.
Yeah.
Also love a McFlurry. I get M&M and Oreo mix-ins. Pro tip, if you didn't know, you could do that. And
interesting.
I think the coffee at McDonald's is actually delicious. Their caramel macchiato, so good. I love their coffee. So I will, if I'm, there's one right near my parents' house. So if I'm driving, I'll just stop in and get a coffee. And their flat cake, pancake breakfast with the strips of bacon, I also love that.
Okay.
I'm a
I
big
love
fan.
their breakfast sandwiches. I feel like because they use the real egg, it's like,
Yeah, so good.
yeah.
Was there anyone who was surprised? Did you get like comments when you did the McDonald's thing where people like, people like, I thought you were a real food blogger, like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I figured. But who doesn't like McDonald's,
Here's the
Oh,
thing. You're going to get
some
hate
people
with
like-
everything you do. It's
Exactly.
like, whatever.
That's something that we figured out, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We actually have this rule that if you don't have haters, you haven't made it.
Well, absolutely true. And in the beginning, haters used to gut me to my core. And now I clap back at them. I love it. It's fun.
Clapping back is fun.
Yeah, I like
I'm
to come
like,
up with
should I be
solid
wasting my
movement.
time with this? But I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
they deserve it.
I know. Everyone's like, "You're above it." I'm like, I am above it.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Just a
kinda
little
fun.
subtle jab. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to type out a paragraph to somebody.
Exactly.
No, just a little.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Just let them know.
block
Yeah.
everybody. Like I am like, that
Oh, you're a block?
where it's like block, that's me. I'm like, I don't even care.
Okay.
That is pretty powerful because now people got to go make burners to see you, and
Yes.
that's real power.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the bully.
Yeah. Where in Maine did you grow up?
Wells.
Well,
Oh, so oh my gosh, Spoons, yeah.
Yeah, so I was really good friends with his younger sister.
No way. We love Spose.
We worked
He's
together.
been on here too.
Yeah, he's been on our podcast.
Oh yeah, really? I love that. I haven't seen him in years, but his sister and I used to work together. So
Okay. That's awesome.
Shout out
He
Megan.
must be like a local legend around there.
yeah, it's funny. When that song came out, it was now that I'm like older, I'm like, oh my god, it's so funny that he incorporated all these like funny areas of our town. It's cool. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
He talks about Wells a lot. He has a lot of hometown pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's still, I think, living around there.
Yeah, he's still in Maine. He'll never
Yep.
leave.
He toured the States for like 40 dates and he just dropped back in Maine.
I mean, he's really talented. Like I think
super
he is so like his music is great.
It's different. It's
Yeah.
like anything I've heard.
He has a different tone. Yeah, I hope that he continues to crush it.
Yeah, he's doing.
Have you done any Aroma Joe's reviews or are you just Boston?
I love Aroma Joe's. So good.
It's something about it. Where do they get their beans? It just tastes better.
Tastes better. I get the roux cookie. That's my go-to. I forget what it is. It's like vanilla coffee with cinnamon. Oh my god, it's so good. I just love their combinations. They're like iconic. I haven't reviewed them, but I should.
I've actually never been to Aroma Joe's, but
So good.
I only know about it because of Spose, because he raps about it sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
I've got it at Old Orchard Beach.
okay.
Yeah, you have to be in Maine. Like I don't think there's any in Massachusetts.
No, I've never seen one of those.
No,
Yeah.
there might be one in like New Hampshire or something, but I'm
There are
pretty sure.
definitely New Hampshire. Yeah, yeah, it's great, and they're like baked goods are delicious.
Yeah, so actually, we haven't talked that much about sweets. I asked about cake, but I want to know like the North End Mike's Modern. Like, I want to just get like chocolate chip cookies, and I also want to say this: you can't say crumble cookies. If I want to get chocolate chip cookies, where am I going?
So, Bakey Babka, they have multiple locations. It's a delicious bakery. They specialize in babka, but they also have breads, chocolate chip cookies. Their chocolate chip cookie is fantastic. Love it. Definitely would say check them out. And also check them out for their babkas. They do Boston cream babkas in the spring. S'mores
What is babka? I'm sorry, I actually don't know.
It's basically like laminated dough rolled, cut, and then it bakes up into. I'm not explaining it
I'm
well.
gonna
but
Google it. I just want to. I need to at least get an image in my
like
head.
a nice, not a bun, but it's like a doughy, delicious treat filled with chocolate.
Oh, okay. I've seen. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I've been actually watching the Great British Bake Off, and I feel like they made
Yeah.
something like this, where they had to like braid it like out
Yes.
from the center or something. But
Yes.
yeah, okay, that's interesting. I feel like that would be an amazing cinnamon type of thing.
It is, and I mean they go crazy on social media because it's just such a beautiful production to make these things, and they're so aesthetically beautiful, but they are delicious. Like that is one of my guilty pleasures. They're raspberry babkas, like my favorite, and I'll get it for breakfast sometimes, which is so bad, but so I'd say that. Also,
There's fruit in there.
yeah, exactly. We all know Levain, right?
I don't.
You don't. So that's a chain that came from New York, and the chocolate chip cookies are like this thick.
Oh.
They're in Seaport Back Bay. They are the chocolate chip cookie place of New England. So if you like chocolate chip cookies, I would say go to Levain, or do more local and go to Bakey.
Okay.
I like a thick chocolate chip like that.
It's not for everyone, and people definitely are like not into that, but some are.
So I usually don't buy cookies. I love making cookies. So we reviewed one of my cookies it was a couple episodes ago. I made some chocolate chip. No, he's lying. They were amazing. So that's a good review.
Pretty good.
I think that's a good review because we try to leave space. We're holding space for the ones at the top, but excuse me. So we were talking about this guy. I don't know, you might be familiar. He was a vendor at like this show we did, or we were at, and it was called Boston Cookie Kitchen. Are you familiar with this guy?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
They're like you said, like really thick cookies, and he has all like every flavor, like red velvet, just any flavor you can think of. And he was selling them just at a booth at this show. And I remember just asking him, like, how did you get them this consistency? Like they were like custardy, but also still like a cookie at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like what Crumble Cookie thinks they are.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so good. And I talk a lot of shit about Crumble Cookie because they're way overhyped, and I'm just going to keep doing it.
I love Crumble though.
I'm sorry, I just don't like them. I think their cookies are just like they're like cake. If they were telling me it was cake, I'd be like, that's fine. But then I don't know. That's just my opinion on them.
No, I agree with you for sure.
And their specialty ones are the best ones. Their chocolate chip cookie, I say I'd rather just make them at home.
I do not like their chocolate chip cookie, but I love the butter cake. Ugh, and like the snickerdoodle. Anything with the cream cheese frosting is like, oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best spot for ice cream in Boston?
That was my next one.
Ice cream. So my favorite place for ice cream, and I actually went 2 nights ago, is Taiyaki. So it's, those fish cones. Have you seen it? It's a fish cone with the soft serve ice cream. So it's
it's like it actually is like an imprint of the fish. I feel like I've seen that before. Okay, yeah.
Yes. And it's this delicious waffly, delicious. And then in the tail of the cone is either red bean, or delicious like pastry cream. So you're eating this ice cream, it melts into the bottom, and then you're left with this spongy, delicious cake filled with custard and ice cream.
Send me the link. I need that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Sorry, what was the place called again?
Called Taiyaki.
Taiyaki, yeah.
It's a New York place that ventured here. So they have one in Seaport, and there's one in Harvard Square.
Okay. My buddy loves red bean, and I just can't get into it. I'm like, I can't have the beans in there. I just like, it kind of tastes like vanilla, but I just like vanilla.
Consistency is weird too. It's almost like, the inside of a Fig Newton. But
not my favorite.
For me, it's, the cream filled one is just so good. I can't even explain it. Like I would eat that every day.
Okay. Sounds good. So is there like a big disparity? Do we have like a lot of gelato places? Because I know gelato versus ice cream, everyone has their opinions on it. I think the flavors, my opinion, I think the flavors are generally the same, and it's all about the texture, right? So are there good gelato places like around here too? Or is that more of like a Wisconsin thing?
I think there are, to be honest. Like I will eat gelato if I'm like in Italy, but I'm more of an ice cream girl when I'm here. So, there's
casually drop if you're in Italy. How often are we going?
I just was in Italy, but I've been twice, so it's not that big of a deal. But like that, go to have gelato, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's Amorino on Newbury Street, which makes the gelato flowers. That's pretty popular. Okay. And then I think there's a gelateria in the North End, right when you walk down Hanover on the left.
There's definitely one in the North End that I've been to.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been, but I'm sure it would be good there.
Yeah.
Somebody tells me that, maybe I shouldn't say this, but they think that $1 million idea is gelato spaghetti. You familiar with this?
No.
It's a thing in other places, I guess. It's just it's almost like soft serve, like a froyo, but it just is like the gelato comes out in strings, like
Oh, I've
as like
seen that. I'd be into that. I'm into all that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, it's weird though, right? I think if you're listening right now, bro,
It's kind of one of those things you do it for the Instagram, right? It probably tastes the same, but that's like what you need. That's like innovation. That's what you should be doing, you know?
Remember Dippin'
So
Dots?
I think I would support it.
they sell Dippin' Dots at Fenway.
What is it?
Dippin' Dots?
Oh, I love Dippin' Dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still sell them at Fenway.
No,
That's pretty
like this is the
iconic.
future. of
And
ice
they
cream.
sell in the garden too.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, but I know what you mean with the like that type of business, like in the right setting can take off. Like, and obviously people want to support. They're like, even though it's the same as a little gelato, I want the
Right.
spaghetti one. I
Right.
want the SpongeBob shaped pasta.
Kids tease it. And, yeah, I mean that's the
Dinosaur
way
chicken
we.
nuggets.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in now, though. It's like the phone eats first, so you kind of have to innovate in that way, you know.
Phone eats first, though.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Yeah, that's funny.
True. Yeah.
Stadium has better food inside, Fenway or TD Garden.
Yeah, it's the garden. We'll save
gonna
some
say-
time. Yeah.
Gordon, yeah. There's just more variety for sure. It's less if you're like
Sausage
chicken,
at Fenway, though.
right? Which I love. We all love some street meat, but definitely the garden for sure. Especially now that they have pizza cupcakes.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah,
You
if-
gotta try those.
I think if you're like up in the suites of Fenway, you can get like
Yes.
anything, but that's not that's not like the typical experience. So
Yeah, definitely, I would say the garden for sure.
All right. It's good to know.
And I have like it's just like easier to eat there for whatever reason. It's just less chaotic to me.
well, there's definitely more places to like sit. There's no
Yeah.
like places to hang out at Fenway.
Easier.
And there's good beer breweries and like yeah, you're right. There's those round tables. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So actually, yeah, what's your favorite stadium to go to? Like if you're gonna eat at one, like what is your favorite? I know we're
Definitely the
talking about
garden.
Fenway.
I really like going to Celtics games. So I would say going to the garden, catching a Celtics game. I'm not really into hockey. I do like baseball. I just feel like Fenway gets so crowded, so I kind of avoid it. It doesn't feel as crowded in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's funny because I guess it feels crowded, but no one's in the seats. So now
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of last year.
Yeah, it's
Leaving
getting
the
kind of
garden's a
sad.
little bit better than leaving Fenway to me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving a Celtics game and you're staying out, where are you going after the season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I've only done that once in my life, and I went to the place right across the garden on the right.
Yep.
Across on the right. I'm trying to think of what that
I
is.
can't remember the name of it. It's across.
Isn't there a tavern in the square right there? But that's to the left,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No, A and B is to the left if you're like walking out of the garden. So it might be Tavern in the
okay.
Square.
Okay.
Which Tavern in the Square is a solid option. I mean,
Absolutely.
solid option for that. So that would be my answer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so hard to get into any of those places in and around a game. Like they'll just tell you, they're like, no, we're full.
know.
You just can't get in. We tried to do that one time years ago. Like there wasn't even a game. It was the Conor McGregor fight. We just wanted to
Oh,
get
well, that's a
into
big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it made sense because everyone was just buying a pay-per-view, so like the bar had a strict
Right.
limit on who could be there.
Well, I think that they ticketed those things as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
believe
because they-
that. Yeah,
Isn't it like super expensive to be able to stream that fight? Like thousands of dollars for these bars? I think it is.
I think because they have like an audience. Yeah, I remember them saying there was talk for a while, like if you were gonna pay-per-view something at home, they would have some device capable of like scanning your room to be like, is the right amount of people watching this? Like, are you having a viewing party?
Yeah. Are they like? Yeah. I think that fight was expensive, so they
Yeah.
probably had it like capped or ticketed or something.
Yeah, no, that made sense. That was like at the time unprecedented. I don't think there had been a fight like that, but yeah, those places are like that anyways. So you mentioned a little bit of travel. So has this food blog taken you outside of Boston? You mentioned going to Italy, like where's the farthest it's taken you and what was your favorite place?
Yeah, so for work specifically, I have been to the Bahamas. I have been all around the US in certain areas, but the best trip that I did was I went to Belgium and I took my mom and I worked with a hotel brand to create content. And it was just such an amazing experience. It was so cool that I could take my mom and we just had the best time and we extended the trip. It was quick. It was a 2-day work trip and we extended it 2 days. We went to Paris. So we just had like the ultimate girls trip and it was really fun. I'm super grateful for that opportunity. It was awesome. And what an interesting place, like Belgium, probably a place I would never think to go.
Yeah.
It actually has like incredible food. You know, they're known for their beer and their waffles and their fries. I mean, it was so cool. It was so much fun.
And I think chocolate, right? If I'm
Chocolate, yes.
So
Chocolate.
Was it better, do you think, when you were there?
So one of the things my mom wanted to do outside of my work scope was do a chocolate making class. And we did, and we loaded up on a lot of chocolate. They have a very interesting ruby chocolate, which is pink and it's made from some sort of, I can't remember, obscure, but it tastes like white chocolate mixed with milk and it's delicious. So we brought home so much chocolate. It was delicious. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I have tried a little bit at making chocolate and it's always so gritty. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard. You have to have it at the perfect temperature. And I mean, they had it like set up nice for us, but it's definitely, you have to like go in hard, like 0 or 100, you know?
Yeah, no, I can see that. I remember like, well, at least for milk chocolate, because you have to mix in like the granules or something. I remember being like, this is not smooth at all. Like it's crunching through. It tasted all right, but I was like, oh. Yeah, that was my pandemic thing I was trying to do early in the pandemic. It's like, I gotta.
Cool. I like that.
So Belgium, is that like the one that was specifically for work, or have you done other ones like that?
Yep, I did the Bahamas for work. I partnered with the Atlantis. That was really fun. Those are my 2 international trips. And then
Did you do the slide into where the sharks are?
No,
How come?
I was too afraid.
Wait, but they're not really like there though, right? You're like protected,
I know.
I think.
I don't like heights, so I was like, I'm going to pass on this.
Honestly, I understand.
Yeah, I'm not like, I'm very risk averse. Like I don't know. I'm fine with feet on the ground at all times.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I've just traveled, in the US to certain places. I can't even think right now where, but I've done stuff obviously in New England and some stuff in Florida. So yeah, it's fun. I love the travel component. It's especially the international travel. I mean, that's a dream. So super thankful.
Yeah, that is awesome to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess we don't want to keep you all night. Is there anything in particular you want to plug? Like, do you have like you don't have merch, or is there?
No, I would just say follow along. If you're new, if you're not familiar with me, I would just tell you that I focus on obviously food, but specifically kind of hole in the walls, places that you might not know about, not these, chains or larger restaurants. I like to really spotlight family owned businesses and, authentic eats as well. That's really my shtick. So if you're a fan of that, follow along. And I do love to do some beauty and fashion. I do Boston events, so I will let you know what's going on for New Year's or where to go for Valentine's Day, stuff like that. So yeah, just excited to have been on this podcast and hope that it was interesting and that I helped you guys with some dinner recommendations.
You definitely did.
Definitely.
We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
We'll probably still poke you for some extra tips as well. We want to know as it evolves.
I messaged you to come on this podcast. I realized that I messaged you back in 2017 asking for taco recommendations. And
No way. I responded, I hope, right?
Yeah, you sent me to Lolita. Yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
That's so funny. See, one thing I always try to do is I respond to almost every DM.
I love that.
Because that's my job, right? I'm supposed to be your guide. And so I will answer things like that. So if anyone has questions, I get people that are like, I need a gift for my girlfriend. Where do I take, I love that stuff. So I'm always like open to conversations in my DMs and to help people with recommendations and stuff. Love
that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cap, you Boston Food Journal. Yep. Talking over each other. No, that was on me. Anyways, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.